Iris is on the third floor of a building owned by a Harvard social club, which began renting out the space a decade ago to pay off nearly $100,000 in back taxes. There aren't many students around in the summer, and they have a separate entrance on the other side of the big brick mansion, but I hear a few of them rehearsing sometimes. They have their own theater, where they put on plays, in which men dress up as women, and their own a cappella group that flashes in and out of the building wearing tuxes day and night. I lock my bike to the metal post of a parking sign and climb the granite steps and open the big door. Tony, one of the head waiters, is already halfway up the first flight, his dry cleaning draped over his arm. He gets all the good shifts, so he can afford to have his uniform professionally cleaned. It's a grand staircase, covered with a greasy, beer-stained carpet that must have once been a plush crimson. I let Tony reach the top and circle around to the next set of stairs before I start up. I pass the portraits of the presidents who have been members of the club: Adams, Roosevelt, and Kennedy. The second flight is narrower. Tony is moving slowly, still only halfway up. I slow even more. The light from the top of the stairs disappears. Gory is coming down. "Tony, my man," he shouts. "How's it hanging?" "Long, loose, and full of juice." Gory cackles. The staircase shakes as he comes toward me. "You're late, girl." I'm not. It's what he says to women instead of a greeting. I don't think he knows my name. I feel the stair I'm on sink when he passes me. "Busy night ahead. 180 on the books," he says over his shoulder. Does he think it's the afternoon already? "And the on-call just called in sick." The on-call is Harry, my only friend at Iris. He isn't sick, though. He's on his way to Provincetown with the new busboy. "Strap on your long iron," he says. "Never leave home without it," I say. Somehow, in my interview, he wheedled the golf stuff out of me. He plays croquet, it turned out. Not at garden parties, but professionally, competitively. He's supposedly one of the best croquet players in the country. He opened Iris after a big win. Below me, he sniffs loudly 3 times, hacks it up, swallows, gasps, and goes out into the street with all the cash from last night in a pouch with Cambridge Savings Bank in big letters. Someone has pressed a post-it to his back that says, "Mug me." "Casey fucking Kasem," Dana says when I get to the top of the stairs. "No one's fired you yet?" She's bent over Fabiana's hostess podium, making the seating chart. It's barely legible and guaranteed to be unfair. I go down the hall to the bathroom and change into my white shirt and wrangle my hair into the required high, tight bun. It makes my head hurt. When I come back, Dana and Tony are moving the tables around, putting the large parties in their sections, making sure everything is to their advantage. The big tables, the regulars, the restaurant's investors, who don't pay but tip astronomically. I don't know if they're friends outside of the building, but they work every shift together like a pair of evil skaters, setting each other up for another dastardly deed, then preening around the room when it comes off. They definitely aren't lovers. Dana doesn't like to be touched. She practically broke the new busboy's arm when she said she had a crick and he reached up to knead her neck with his thumb. And Tony never stops talking about his girlfriend, though he paws at all the male waiters through every shift. They have Gory and Marcus, the manager, completely snowed, or at least compromised. Harry and I suspect it's the drugs that come through Tony's brother, a dealer who is in and out of jail and who Tony talks about only when he's wasted, demanding vows of silence as if he's never told you before. We call Dana and Tony the Twisted Sister and try to stay out of their path. "You've just taken 2 tables out of my section," Yasmin says. "We have 2 8-tops, Tony says. "Well, use your own bloody tables. These are mine, you fucks." Yasmin was born in Eritrea and raised in Delaware, but she's read a lot of Martin Amis and Roddy Doyle. Unfortunately, she doesn't stand a chance against the Twisted Sister. Before I can band with Yasmin, Dana points a finger at me. "Go get the flowers, Casey Kasem." She and Tony are the head waiters. You have to do what they say.